This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you in part by the Daily Herald.
Naperville North AD Jim Konrad. You know, the thing that really strikes me about an athletic program like a school at Naperville North is the breadth of sports, activities, all the things that you kind of oversee. How do you approach something like that where you have such a big area that you're covering?
We're fortunate to be a huge high school, and with over 3,000 kids, we try to provide a chance for all of them to participate. And we were somewhere between 1,500 and 1,600 kids participating in athletics this year, which we're very proud of. And then every kid seems to find their niche. You know, we do offer just about everything that's possible to offer through the IHSA. And so every kid has the chance to find a home. And then again, like I said, our coaching staffs are so strong. Each program feels like it is the most important program in the school. And I think going back to Neil McCauley, he did that. He made, no matter what sport you're playing, you felt like you were just as important as the kids maybe playing on a Friday night. And that's something that I'm trying to continue. And
during the fall, you also are the Husky boys head soccer coach. How did it go about, you know, having the new duties as AD this year and kind of having a little balancing act there?
Yeah, well, you know, fortunately I'm a 12-month employee, so I do work all summer. So that gave me those 3 months in the summer to kind of prepare for the fall. And I've been coaching for a long time, and I've got some wonderful assistants. And so there was times where I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to be half hour late out there because I got to get something going. And they would get the warm-ups done, and I'd join the practice and take off from there. Fortunate that soccer doesn't compete with the other sports. Really, we're able to, time-wise, I'm able to see things happen and go to my game at night in soccer. So it worked out fairly well. And I love the fact that I can have that close contact with kids. You know, I'd miss that if I was just an administrator, and I missed the coaching piece.
Do you think that maybe, you know, the fact that, you know, a lot of ADs are former coaches, but, you know, as somebody that was kind of doing both wearing both hats at the same time, how much do you think that kind of helped when you're trying to relate to, you know, what some of these other coaches need, and, you know, you're in that hat, you know, in their shoes right then, right there?
Right. I think it's a big advantage. One, because, I mean, even when I go to a game, the crowd control piece, I've got 30 kids that have talked to their friends and hopefully said Konrad's an okay guy, so I have some relationship with the kids. And then the second piece with the coaches, I think, you know, you mentioned earlier, we are kind of a tight family, and we all go through the same struggles, and we go to each other for advice. And I appreciate the fact they see me as a coach too, as one of them, not just the guy that does the scheduling and makes sure the officials are there. So I have enjoyed that relationship as well.
And you know, we're still not sure if we're gonna see you back on the soccer
field. We're not sure.
field.
I'm hoping. I've got my fingers crossed that we're gonna be able to make that happen.
Now, no doubt from this past season, you know, that North is an successful athletic program. When you look at the trophies, third for girls cross country, swimming brings home second in state. You have 2 state champions in the spring. What are you going to do to top that next year?
You know, well, I've said to all my coaches all the time, the most important thing that we can do is make sure the kids are proud to wear the t-shirt when they leave. So if you play tennis here and you walk out there and you're proud to have been a boys tennis player, that's all we really are shooting for. Now, obviously, we love to win too. I mean, it would be lying to say we don't. And so that was a huge thrill this year to bring home those trophies, and especially the spring to cap off a great year with 2 state championships, and then Ellen doing the individual state championship in badminton. We couldn't, I mean, you really can't beat it. Now, next year, I will say that we've got some programs that are poised to be in the running to bring home some state hardware and maybe even state titles. So we're really excited. We've got 17 team state titles so far, and I'm anxious to get to 20.
He had 2 team state titles this year. Doug Smith in his 8 years previous only had 4.
He had 4, yeah.
So
Neil had 11. So I'm chasing Doug first, then hopefully we'll run down Neil. So
definitely. How much have you kind of seen, you know, the landscape of high school sports here? I know you've, you know, been involved as the AD 1 year, but, you know, as a coach these past, you know, 6, 7, 8 years, as far as kind of the club sport thing coming in. Obviously, lacrosse is one that's an emerging sport. Right. That'll hopefully join the IHSA soon.
Well, club-wise, there's 2 challenges. You've got the outside clubs, you know, that support and compete with the high schools. And being a soccer person, I've went through the club system as a kid and had a wonderful experience playing high school soccer. And so we have to balance. I mean, I think people need to understand that the high school coaches and teachers are really here for the kids. And that's it. They want the kids to do the best they possibly can. And we have some wonderful coaches here. Where the clubs are, on one hand, I think there's some great people in clubs, but they're also, it's a financial, I mean, that's their job. They're making their whole living off of coaching that club. And so I think you have to kind of keep that in mind when you hear different messages. And so we're blessed to have a great club system here that provides us with a number of fantastic athletes and gives the kids a chance to play in the off season. And as far as the high school club, lacrosse is growing in numbers. Our boys program is huge, and our girls program is growing. Our new coach is really trying to push numbers. So once they figure out the equipment piece and the financial piece, I mean, they may come on at some point, but that is a challenge, the whole reconditioning of equipment.
Now, we're a couple weeks out of school here, but things very busy around right now. I know there were a bunch of kids here this morning as far as camps and other things. A little bit going on over the track over there. Tell me a little bit about it. I know you're pretty excited.
Yeah, we are. We're thrilled about some upgrades we're getting, and we still have a long ways to go, but we're taking baby steps. When the school was first built, we didn't have money to finish off the track, the outside of the track, and so they took the roof pea gravel and filled it around the fence. And the problem is that it would get kicked down the track and weeds would grow in there. It just didn't look finished. So district came through for us this year and is going to do blacktop asphalt up against the track, so we won't have that problem anymore, and the weeds are gone, and replace the interior fence with a nice black fence, so it's going to look sharp. We're going to get some skirting around the home bleachers to kind of close off that a little bit in the bottom. And that's phase one. We're hoping to continue with that, and then we've got a lot of big dreams, but it's going to take a lot of money, so we're meeting as a coaching staff to try to continue to improve our facilities.
What are a couple of those things on the horizon? You let us
know. Well, on my horizon, I'm not sure how realistic it is. We'd love to get a couple more turf fields. I know there's some schools out that have done that. Just having one field has made a dramatic impact on our ability to, both for the PE kids to be out there working, and then our athletes, our band, lacrosse. And so if we get a couple more of those tucked in behind the stadium, that would make a huge difference on how many groups we could get on our fields playing. Without running our grass in the ground, which we do every year to kind of maintain that, and to ease up the work on our buildings and grounds guys who wouldn't have to maintain those fields as much as they do now.
Definitely. Well, Jim, a very successful year for your year one of Husky Athletic Director. Good luck here in the future.
Thank you very much.